Hopesters. It is Monday, and Damek is having trouble getting dressed. He so far has his shirt on backwards.
I'm not want to be funny.
He's being very grumpy because he thinks that I don't like his jokes. It's raining out. I'm going to drive.
I'm not going to be funny anymore if you don't like my jokes.
Okay, well, you're kind of funny right now because you got your shirt on backwards. Yep.
Dad, your name is Skullface.
Okay. One of his favorite things, it was totally my fault too, is I started saying, hey, you have a funny name, like, Goofy Newferson or Macaroni Toes. Well, old Goofy Newferson here takes it and runs with it. That's all he wants to do.
Newferson anymore.
Okay. So Hudson's already gone off to the bus. Alicia's got her out there. It's November. It's cold. It's yucky. I'm not shaved. And I gotta find something to be grateful for today. Oh, I know. I'm still alive after falling down the stairs on Saturday. I was coming down the stairs a little too fast and my heel slipped on one of the steps, and I was about 8 steps up probably, and just rode my tailbone all the way down the stairs. And my now currently purple butt cheek. But I'll live. And I'm looking really rough this morning because it's no shave November. I'm not enjoying this stage. I tell you, here's one gratitude. This rain made me feel a little depressed when I woke up. Cold and rainy, right? Working on the yard over the weekend with my father-in-law while they were here. By the way, Kacy's parents came to visit for the weekend. And my yard is so dry. The grass looks great, but it was like parts of the yard were so dry it was like cracking. It was pretty bad. I actually turned off the lawn sprinklers a couple of weeks ago. So I'm gonna be grateful for the rain so I don't have to turn the lawn sprinklers back on, because our water bill, it was about 5 times what it typically is last month. And another thing to be grateful for is that we have a car. Kacy's car. It's a lot harder to drive Damek to school in the big van. They open the side door over there, and that's where the lift would be, in the big van. So I'm grateful that Kacy's working from home so that I can use her car to bring Damek to school. Damek, are you ready for school? What are you thinking about?
Don't like my jokes.
I don't like your jokes. I like your jokes when you tell a joke every now and then, but when you just get crazy over and over and over, yes, I'm gonna tell you to stop and say that I don't like that. There's a difference.
Oh, I thought you don't like my jokes.
I like your jokes lots of times. I just don't like when you repeat yourself getting crazy.
Oh, can you see me in the vlog?
Yes. Can you tell a joke?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting. Did you interrupt me? That was a pretty funny joke.
You tell me a joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo Hill.
Oh, don't cry.
Your name is Goofy Face.
Hey, we're not doing that.
Dad?
What?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
What?
Boo.
Blue?
Boo.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Don't cry.
Wait, you can't tell the same joke I told. See, that's not a funny joke anymore. So I guess I didn't explain. The month of November is the month of gratitude. At least here in the United States, we have Thanksgiving. So it's turned the month of November into being thankful. With this channel, for the month of November, I'm going to try to talk about things that we're grateful for. I encourage you guys to comment things that you're grateful for. It'd be great to just start a wave of thankfulness. We'll just put it that way. Even on days that it's tough. like today when I can barely sit down. So by the way, got this yard was completely covered in leaves, and my father-in-law helped me. We blew them all into a big pile and sucked them up, and they're in bags now, and then today they're gonna go out to the curb so they can get picked up. Well, this is actually kind of sad, but the garage is back to normal. Halloween's over, and it's time to start planning for next year. I'm very excited about next year. I think we're doing werewolves. Yeah, I know, I'm excited, but you know, it's a long time away. But we got Thanksgiving, and we've got Christmas around the corner, and New Year's, and family time, and just, I'm super excited and super thankful that I have all of those things in my life. Okay, I should have done the dishes with Dan, but I just got done doing some dishes. I am doing some laundry. Kacy is here still. Actually, Kacy and Ashley are still here, but Ashley's working downstairs, and Kacy's on a phone call in our bedroom because I was out here watching YouTube while doing dishes, and she was like, hey, I got a phone call, I'll just take it in there. So I said, okay. And then here is one of the last roses off of our rose bush. Isn't that beautiful? It's gorgeous. Clearing the yard, and that beauty was on the bush, so I had to bring it in. Kacy and I try to come up with our meal plans on Sundays. I'm making a big batch of chili, so I've got a bunch of hamburger going in here with just, it's got a little salt on it right now. And then there's some more hamburger right there that is for Friday when we're doing tacos, and hamburger right here for Thursday when we're doing cheeseburgers, smash burgers. So dividing all the hamburger up and getting that stuff going. I've got some gluten-free cornbread. Kacy went over to like a mom's night out Saturday. I made a big batch of gluten-free cornbread, but there's a whole bunch of it left, so that's gonna be really good with the chili. I need to add some pepper, just some black pepper, chili powder. Nice heavy dose of chili powder. Some garlic, some onion. I got some cumin in here somewhere. Found it. And then a little bit of heat with the smolder from Boulder. And it sounds like Kacy just got here. There she is. Hi, Mama.
Hi. Got done with the compliance review.
Oh, yeah?
Guess what? I follow the rules.
Yeah, guess what? Surprise. Okay, so get all this hamburger browned up, and then I'll do the rest.
I love you that you cooked for me. Thank you.
That's a wrist burner. But you know what? I don't think I've had an electric can opener since the 80s when we had one at my house as an adult. Come on, do the work. So I like to, I got a big pressure cooker. I'm gonna drain the grease off of the hamburger and then dump all of these ingredients in here. But with beans, I always rinse the juice out. So, you know, can here, black beans, a little water in, rinse your beans. But the beans that I don't rinse are the ones that came in the chili sauce. You leave that in there. Hamburger drained, chili beans are in there, so add that. And then we add our black beans and our great northern beans. And the big can of tomato sauce. And then I don't know if you have Rotel where you live, but this stuff's amazing, and they have the chili fixins one. 2 cans of chili fixins. Then we add a bunch of chili powder. Actually, first, get a nice heavy wooden spoon. Get this all mixed up. And then I'm serious. I'm gonna add probably, there's about that much chili powder left in here. I'm gonna add probably half of it. And the garlic. And the onion powder. Very important, the cumin. Salt. And then rosemary. Doesn't take much rosemary. This stuff goes a long way, but this will definitely add this little punch of flavor. And then depending on how hot you like your chili, we like it hot around here. Dump some cayenne, or like I'm using some smolder from Boulder. We're not done, folks. A little white vinegar, and just really about a heaping tablespoon of it. What I like to call yellow hillbilly mustard. And some cinnamon sugar. And then last, but certainly not least, some bouillon. About a cup. A little more salt. And a lot more chili powder. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you like corn in your chili, add some frozen corn. All right, that's gonna do that for that. Bring it up till that baby starts rocking, and then turn your heat off till she cools down. I let it rock for probably 10 minutes.
I want to rock.
And then I shut it off. And we are good for chili for tonight. Aren't you excited, Mom?
Super excited.
It's perfect chili weather. When it gets chilly out, you want to eat chili. And it's plenty chilly out. Okay, I got about an hour before, well, yeah, I got about an hour before the kids get here, which means I've got about 45 minutes before I have to leave to go get Damek. All right, I got the kids home from school. Damek's over there eating his chili. It is done, and it is delicious. Look at that, oh boy. Kacy and I have already had a bowl. I had one bowl. I don't know if she's had two. She got a business call during dinner, so she had to take that, so she's in the other room with that. Hey, are you supposed to be eating? Your chili is cold.
This?
Just got episode 28 out to the Patreon supporters. It's out for 2 hours early release, and then it'll go live out to all the rest of the hopesters. She's been out for, well, about a full hour now. Good stretching. Good stretching, Hudson Ann. Reach up for the sky. You don't want Daddy to bug you, do you? Alright, go back to sleep. So far, pretty short vlog for the day. Earlier when I was doing dishes, there was something I was going to talk about. And then when I was doing chili, I was going to talk about it, but I couldn't talk about it because I was making chili. I had to talk about what was in the chili. I had hinted about something way back when we were on our anniversary trip, like I think a year ago. I used to be a smoker. I was a smoker for 18 years, guys. I figured, you know what? I should probably tell you guys about that past me, that person. I mean, I've been quit for, what was it, 07, so 11 and a half years now. I smoked, on average, like 2 packs a day for 18 years. I started smoking when I was 17. I think it was my first cigarette, and wow. And I didn't think I would ever quit, didn't think I ever could quit, and for a really long time, didn't even want to quit. I'm never gonna quit. I'll just smoke, smoke, smoke. Who cares? It was the same year that Kacy and I got married. Actually had contracted pneumonia and had to go to the hospital. And just to the emergency room. I didn't have to stay in the hospital. They told me, basically, don't smoke for the next 5 days. If you have one cigarette, it could possibly kill you. Well, I don't want to die, so I gotta make it at least 5 days without a cigarette. was daunting, we'll put it that way. But I told Kacy, I said, okay, go get me the strongest nicotine gum that they have. I started using the nicotine gum, and they suggested on the box that it was like 8 to 10 pieces a day. Whenever you had a craving, you know, get a new piece out and start chewing it. For the first week, I did that. I had a lot of gum that first week. But then I started not switching the pieces out. I started just keeping the gum in my mouth all the time. And with nicotine gum, you chew it until it starts to tingle, and then you stuff it up in between your teeth and gums, and you hold it there, kind of like a chewing tobacco wad or something. And then when you have a bit of a craving, you pull it out and chew it. It's supposed to last a couple of hours, but I would just leave it in, and I would forget if it was a new piece or an old piece. Whenever I thought I needed a cigarette, I would just pop that thing out and chew on it and chew on it and chew on it. And then I started replacing 1 or 2 pieces of the gum a day, because I was only chewing like 3 pieces of it a day. I had the nicotine gum that was orange flavored, and I would get Dentine or Trident that was orange flavored. And I couldn't tell the difference between them after a while because I had left it in for so long. I'd wake up sometimes in the morning and it was still in my mouth. And I would have a piece of gum in my mouth, and it would be stuffed away, and I'd pull it out to chew on it, and I'd go, wow, I don't remember if this is the nicotine gum or if this is the Dentine. So I started tricking myself. So I used to smoke out in my garage. I didn't smoke in the house. I used to smoke out on the deck. I used to keep an ashtray with a cigarette in it, a brand new cigarette. And I would puff on that cigarette. I'd go out and I would take smoke breaks. At work, I would go out with the smokers and I would take a smoke break. And I would bum a cigarette from them, and then I would stand there. The thing is that I would not light it. I would just puff and puff and puff on a cigarette, and then if they wanted it back, I'd give it back to them, you know, or if I was in my car or out in the garage, I would just put it back in the ashtray and come back and use it again later. So I was doing the habit of what I had been doing the habit of for so many years. And then the last piece of what I did to get over it was I started telling myself that I did not quit smoking. I told myself that I had stopped. Your brain has trouble contemplating absolutes. Smoking, for example, or an addiction, when you stop using those, your brain goes through the same depression that it would go through had you lost a family member to death. It wasn't an absolute. It wasn't a forever thing. I said I just stopped. I was stopping for as long as possible. And I would imagine myself surrounded by grandchildren in my hospital bed, 95 years old, and I would say, go get me a pack of cigarettes. I'd imagine smoking that cigarette there on my deathbed when it didn't matter. And it allowed me to have a finish line. Now that I'm completely quit and over the addiction of cigarettes, I mean, that's a silly thing. I will never ever have another cigarette, even on my deathbed. I don't care. It's the dumbest habit that you could do. And if you're a smoker, that's partly why I'm talking to you about this, is that I'm giving you the ways that I quit, and maybe it could help you. The last piece is that smoking is absurd. It doesn't do really actually anything for you. It'd be different if it was something like a drug, like a heroin or something that gets you high, that gives you some sort of euphoria. But all cigarettes do is addict you and make you want to have another cigarette. They don't make you feel. So if you're out there and you're a young person contemplating smoking, it's pointless. So it's absurd to be a smoker because it doesn't do anything for you. If you are a smoker, or if you are thinking about being a smoker, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's pointless. It's very absurd. Take it from me. Just know that I was down that road of making that mistake. I thought it was cool to be that guy at the end of high school that learned to be a smoker. It was bad. I was a terribly addicted to cigarettes guy, and I'm trying to tell you, don't. And if you already are, stop. Don't quit. Stop. It's like 9:30 and just got Kacy tucked in. I'm up here looking for something to snack on. It's Chicago mix. It's caramel corn and cheese corn. I just love popcorn. I'm just kill this bag. By the way, I got these little mason jar things here at Walmart for like $4.50 each, something like that. And Kacy said she wanted to make a little coffee bar over there. Got coffee and sugar and cocoa. I'm just happy with the jars, so I don't have to get the big old bag of coffee out anymore. Earlier, Hudson was very asleep. I remembered that her notebook from school said that her last pee was at 1:30, so at 7 o'clock. We had to do a catheter, didn't we, kid? Yeah, her temp got a little low. And it's the neurobladder coinciding. I did a cath and now she's awake, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I guess we did a lot, didn't we? We made some chili, and we talked about how to quit smoking. We got a smile, that's what we needed. We did catheters. Daddy did some vlogging. I got a whole bunch of cleaning done, and I got an episode posted. I'd say maybe it was a kind of a full day. Do you think it was a full day? Were you happy with today? Your notebook said you worked really hard at school and you were full of smiles. They love your smile. Everybody leaves comments about your pretty smiles. Think you got one? It sounds like you got some boogers. I think we're going to have to suction your nose out. Yeah, those are boogers. We're going to have to suck them out. Nose sucking time. Anyway, before I suck these boogers out of Hudson's nose, I'm going to remind you guys that to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. So go be somebody's world, right? All right, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye. Oh, that's a sneaky one.